Good morning. This is William McKissock with Schooley Mitchell, your expense reduction specialist. This morning, I have with me Vera Anderson, your legacy coach and growth advisor. Vera is a dynamic legacy coach who focuses on sustainable growth for her clients, an entrepreneur and mentor with a private equity background and global resources. She provides customized guidance to fund managers, C-level executives, and family office principals striving to reach their full potential in business and in life, and in the life shift, to help them shift their mindset, to greater success and create an intentional legacy. Vera is a co-host of by invitation only workshops, speaker and author on legacy creation, family office dynamics, and topics critical to leadership development. Welcome to the show, Vera. Thank you for coming on board. To get the ball rolling, tell me a little bit more about you and your company and what are the challenges that you see?
Certainly. Well, as anything in life, this journey has started for me as a personal experience. I have experienced 2 crashes in my life. I guess now it's 3 market crashes. The first one was when the bubble burst in 2000. And the Silicon Valley became not what it was. The second one was 2008-2009 market crash, which had a pretty profound effect on me because I was further down in my career. I was in private equity. I was based in London. And a lot of dynamic changes have happened during that period where I realized that the way that I was trying to succeed was not sustainable. I was burning myself out, and I tied my entire success as a human being to my net worth. And when that market crash happened, it was a very dramatic experience for me. So that started this journey and this process of, how do I succeed, but make it sustainable and make it in a way that I can actually enjoy the journey and not burn myself out. So now when I talk to clients, a lot of times they get to this point where they feel like I've reached my goal, I've attained a revenue target, or I've attained a personal goal that I've been striving towards for a very long time, and I'm not feeling fulfilled. It just feels like another day, even if it's a significant achievement. So one of the things that my clients ask themselves is there more to life? Have I reached my full potential? Is this it? And the other thing is what I've mentioned for myself is, tying your net worth and your self-worth. And when things don't go right on the financial side, kind of becoming your own worst enemy and being very negative towards yourself and labeling yourself as a loser, which creates a trap because that means you can't succeed. You're hanging on to something that has happened as a staple, and you can't move forward as quickly and as effectively.
Really, very well said, and it helps me understand how your experience has helped you develop Legacy Coach. Essentially, that was part of my next question, was your experiences. So we've already covered that. So I'd like you to tell me, you have a 5-step process with Legacy Coach. Can you tell the listeners and the viewers a little bit more about that 5-step process?
Sure. Before I actually jump into that, what I wanted to talk about is mention how I got out of this state of uncertainty and self-doubt.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
It all starts with self-awareness, right? If you don't think you have a problem, you don't have a problem. And all of us have blind spots. So I've had a number of mentors and coaches who have helped me along on this journey to realize what I wasn't seeing in myself and in my life and the way I was working and living. And I actually wish that I had somebody like me when I was going through my private equity experience and going through that whole downside, because my coming out of that experience would have been a lot easier and faster. So that's something that keep in mind if you're going through some kind of a transitional time right now, if you're thinking about selling your business, if you're thinking about You know, maybe you have to close your business down. Or you're thinking about, okay, what's that next step for me? I am not ready to retire, but I also don't know what that next chapter is going to be. Get somebody to help you figure that out, because they can point out your strengths, and they can also help you navigate around those blind spots that you've probably experienced that puts you in a cycle of repeating the same thing over and over again. So
Yes.
step one was definitely self-awareness and kind of acknowledging to myself that things were not the way I wanted them to be. Step two was shifting my mindset. It really starts with your head. And you could have reached very high levels of success, but you feel like you are not able to reach the next level. And that happens when you create a lot of rules for yourself. You would say, I've succeeded to this point because I've done X, Y, and Z. Well, those things might be the box, the container you've created for yourself that are preventing you from going to the following level. And what it takes is actually a mindset shift and breaking those barriers down so you can then succeed and move forward. And then the third step was really a commitment, and commitment to myself, commitment to the process, and commitment to living and working differently in the way that felt fulfilled and supportive.
Thank you. So you kind of like added more layers to what I was asking about your experience, and thank you for sharing that. That was very important that people understand. So in the 5-step process, we got to number 3. What's the next 2?
Well, actually, the 5-step process just begins now.
Okay.
The way the intentional legacy model came together is I took all of my experience from private equity, from working in an international setting, from raising capital in a startup environment that I was involved in, going through some health challenges, and I put it all together along with a strategic intervention coaching program that I've completed. And what came out is this 5-step process. And on the surface, it's very simple, but if it's done right, and if it's done on a continual basis, then it's actually very transformational and it's life-changing. And I had a lot of experience going through this with various clients, and their lives have changed. So for a fact, I know that it works. But again, it takes the commitment and engagement. Yeah. And so really quickly, the first step is discovering. And that's basically laying out what you have created to this date without judgment, which is very difficult for ourselves because sometimes what we've created is not something that we love and enjoy. And so just being honest of what you have with your life, with your business, with your personal engagements, with your health, because we want to have a holistic plan that addresses all the areas of life so you can create a sustainable plan to maintain it. The second part is decluttering, right? Imagine your house. You live in it 20, 30 years, there's going to be cobwebs. There's going to be stuff there that does not need to be there, that you have accumulated over the years. The same happens with your life. The same happens with your business and mindset. And so we go through this process of elimination. And what that does, it gives you back time, which is one of the key things that people always say, I don't have time for things that are truly important. It gives you back time and it gives you back energy, both mental and physical, which is very important. And I'll talk about it later. And then we go into the third step, which is creating a strategy. And that strategy has to be simple. It can't be overly complex. It has to be executable, and it has to include proper support. So for example, if you're a busy executive, you may need to learn how to delegate and outsource, not just at work and make sure that you're running efficiently and not becoming the bottleneck, but also at home. So it might mean that you get a cleaning person to come in and clean your house. It might mean that you have a chef preparing your meals. It might mean that you have proper care for your children. So that way you're not worried about it. Everything is contained and everything is taken care of. On the business side, that means that you have the right people in the right places, that you're comfortable and confident outsourcing to them and delegating, and you know that you can be a strategist rather than an executioner or an operator. And if you can get yourself to that level of being a strategist, that's how your business will grow and scale significantly faster and easier. So the fourth step is a key, and that's powering up. That's giving you the mental power and giving you the physical power. Because I can't tell you how many people that I know who are going through either capital raising round or they're going through a major acquisition. They stop taking care of their health. They're eating terribly. They're not sleeping, right? Because they're trying to do a job of a CEO and also a job of a fundraiser, which is 2 24-hour jobs. And they end up in a hospital, right? So being able to create time and space and consistent routines for your health and your mental fitness is a key that will enable you to execute and move forward. And then the last step is executing, right? And execution needs to be consistent, and you have to have accountability component, right? Because if you don't have your workout buddy, it's very easy to say, oh, I don't feel like getting up today, right? If you don't have an accountability person within your business, with your business plans, and a lot of times I work with CEOs and fund managers, these are people who are at the top of the pyramid. So as a coach, I provide that accountability component that is external. So that can be also created if you have a mentor, if you have a peer group, but you need to have somebody who will hold you accountable to the plan you have created and give you those check-ins and recommendations that if you're following the process or if you're not.
Thank you. Thanks for clearing up in my mind exactly what the 5-step processes were. So apologies for kind of getting a little bit mixed up as to what you were saying there, but that's why you're on the show. That's why you're here to tell me exactly what you do. You're the expert, not me. So what makes you stand out from other coaches out there? What's the differentiator between you and other people?
Sure. Well, the way that I feel about coaching is there has to be a right fit, right? There's a million different coaches that are coaching on business specific topics, that are coaching on sales specific topics. Maybe there's a life coach. It all depends on what you need as a person in your current state of life, in your current financial state. Some people target lower end clients, some people target higher end clients. And so it really depends on what is the right fit for you when it comes to coaching. And what I do is I talk to my prospects. I have several conversations so we can get to know each other and see if we have the rapport, if there is a level of trust, and if we're a right fit. So that's the key point. And one of the things that one of my clients told me after we went through the 6 months engagement, he said, before I started, I thought that I was doing everything right. But coming out of this experience, I realized that I wasn't doing the right things. And so it's really meant for people who are in a position and in a place in life where they want to make a significant shift and transformation. And they really want to change the direction of their life to be more impactful, to live with more passion, to live with more sense of fulfillment and peace. And it's a really hard thing to do and to find and execute, especially in the world that runs at 1,000 miles an hour. I think we had a really nice break with coronavirus where it gave us an opportunity to slow down for some people who allowed themselves. and really reflect on what's truly important in life and how can I live better? How can I live with more meaning? And that's the type of clients that I absolutely love supporting. A lot of people that I work with are based in major cities, New York, Chicago, Miami. I have a couple of clients in Europe and London and other parts of Western Europe. So I work with international clientele. I love the international dynamic. And personally, I was born and raised in Moscow in Russia. So I've lived in 5 countries at this point. I've traveled to over 40. And I really enjoy the international perspective and working with people who have the global reach where they can not only impact positively their businesses, but also create a legacy, create philanthropic organizations and social impact all over the world. And I just love supporting those type of people.
That's fascinating. Obviously, being from Scotland, I understand that whole European dynamic.
Yes.
It's really cool that you establish that fit before you move forward. It's not just a case of grabbing a client, charging them some money, and telling them how to think better about what they're doing, etc. It really is a process, and it has to be a good fit. With those processes and how you're developing your business and working with your clients, where do you see your business and the clients you're working with in 5 to 10 years?
Well, my business is based on a boutique model, and it's not about adding on more clients. It's about adding very strategic and key clients and being able to work with individuals who are having greater and greater impact on the world. So I work with 7 to 10 clients at a time, maximum, because everything that we do is created bespoke for those individuals.
Yeah.
And I also have to be available to them. And it's also part of my own lifestyle business. That's what I chose to create for myself as this next chapter in my life, where I have opportunities to work and travel internationally once we're able to do that again, where I do have opportunity to work with fascinating people who are growing, who are scaling, and really have the time and dedication to support them in the way they need to be supported.
Yeah, well, yeah, very interesting. It's fascinating for me because, like most business people, you're reading books to help your mental attitude and how you can move forward with your business. And knowing somebody that's in the world like what you do is an amazing. It's an amazing tool for business owners to have, because we're all trying to think about how we're doing it and are we doing it right and where do we go from here. And as you say, one of the things that resonated with me when you were talking about being boxed in, you think, there's my goal in life, and you find it's like, hang on, I can't go any further. And I'm sure everybody listening to this could relate to that you really do need some help sometimes just to kind of like take it to the next level. Don't trap yourself don't constrain yourself in what you think you can do. Realize what you can actually do. My final topic or question I want to ask you about is, I want to ask you about your work you're doing on LinkedIn, because obviously I'm a follower of you on LinkedIn, and I see that your little videos you do on a daily basis, which are fantastic. Tell me a little bit of those, and also tell me about the complimentary sessions that you do with your legacy coaching.
Absolutely. So the LinkedIn videos started out as an experiment, if you will. After all of the travel and all of the conferences and events got canceled with the coronavirus, I pouted for a couple of days because I was really looking forward to the engagements and interactions with prospects and clients in New York and in London. And I thought, okay, what will make me visible to the world while we are in this quarantine? And I thought, I'll try doing LinkedIn videos. And so it started as, I'll do one video a day. It was a commitment. that I made to myself. And initial thought was, I'll do it for 30 days. At this point, I am 10 weeks into it. This is week number 10. And what I do is I give you a couple of minutes of reflection or a challenge to consider as you are going through all of these phases, whether you're looking at growing your business, connecting to your employees and clients as a leader, really examining your own mindset and your point of view. Where are you coming from right now? And what kind of support do you need, and how to get some of that support? And it's just something that you can reference if you go to my posts on LinkedIn, and you can find me under Vera Anderson, Legacy Coach.
And your complimentary sessions?
Yes. So for today's audience, what I wanted to offer is for individuals who are truly looking for a coach and are examining different options, I would welcome a conversation. You can reach out to me at Vera at globalelementsconsulting.com and let me know if you'd like to schedule a complimentary session. I will be doing 2 complimentary sessions for this audience.
Thank you. Well, Vera, thank you very much for coming on my show. And for the viewers listening and watching this, Vera's details will be right underneath her, video, so you can see her contact details there to reach out. I highly recommend, if you are looking for a coach, especially for the thinking side of life and really moving forward with your thoughts and where you want to be in life, in personal and in business, please contact Vera Anderson at Legacy Coach. Thank you, Vera. I will now hand this over to Dave for the weather.